Hello and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Sherry Taylor, freelance dietitian, nutritionist, and the director of Eat Great, Feel Great. And in yesterday's video, we were talking about chocolate and the special way to eat it to get the maximum amount of pleasure and enjoyment from it as possible. And after doing that activity with literally hundreds of women, one thing that's come up repeatedly is that so many people tell me they have an almost uncontrollable desire to chew and swallow the food as quickly as possible. They really struggle to let it just sit on their tongue and not do anything with it. And at first I thought that was maybe related to anxiety, because let's face it, if you're feeling really stressed out, often chocolate is one of the foods that we want to eat. But the other day I was eating chocolate. Yes, spoiler alert, dietitians do eat chocolate sometimes. And I was chewing and swallowing it really quickly, and I wasn't feeling particularly anxious. So I thought I would do a bit more thinking about what the reason might be. And this is the conclusion that I've come to. If it's a poor quality chocolate, like the majority of the chocolate that we eat, let's be honest, it doesn't start to melt on contact with your tongue. And I think that's done intentionally, because when you're handling chocolate and stuff, most people don't like to get it all over their fingers and stuff. So the companies do that on purpose to a certain extent. Plus, I would imagine it's less expensive to make it that way as well. But what happens when you eat poor quality chocolate is then it just sits like a blob on your tongue. It doesn't melt, and you're not getting the sensory experience, the enjoyment, or even the flavor from it until you start to chew it. And I think there's something to that. And as soon as you do start to chew it, you do get a bit more of the flavor, but actually it isn't as good as when you're eating really high quality chocolate, like Lindt or other companies where as soon as it touches your tongue, it actually starts to melt. So I want you to do a bit of investigation for me, be a bit of a chocolate detective, and try a couple of different kinds of chocolate and tell me if you think that theory is correct. Does your desire to chew the chocolate come from the fact that it's a poor quality chocolate and it's not actually melting on your tongue as soon as it comes on contact? Because chocolate is one of the very few, in fact it might be the only food that melts on contact with your tongue. That's why we love it so much, and that's why it's very difficult to replace it with anything else. So why compromise on that with a quality chocolate that isn't very good? If you're going to eat chocolate, eat the really good stuff. Because when it does melt on contact with your tongue, it's just the most exquisite experience. And I find it actually kind of coats the inside of your mouth, and you get so much sensory stimulation from that you just can't replace that with anything else. And I have a feeling you'll be satisfied with so much less if you do that. So give it a go. Let me know what you think. Please leave a comment below, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Take care.